Big Silz, happy Turkey Week, and welcome to the special. Hey, I don't know about you, food and football. It's the best time of the year. Food and football. Am I right when I say that, right? So we welcome you aboard. Please hit the like button. Thank you guys so much for coming aboard with me here on a holiday week. Thanksgiving is such a great time. I don't know about you, but I've never realized how turkey food makes you tired. It makes you tired. My wife made this 20-pound turkey yesterday, and as soon as I was done with it, my daughter and I, she's looking at me. She's home from school. She goes, geez, Dad, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know what it is, man. It's like kryptonite. But when you put the food, right? When you put the food in front of you and it's turkey day, I don't know what it is, man. It's like kryptonite for me, man. I'm like, I'm woozy, I'm wobbling, right? The tryptophan, that's it, man. What an absolutely great day yesterday. Got a chance to watch some really telling football, too. We're going to get into that here in a second. We got a boatload of people that are going to join us, too. We still have and are waiting on some folks yet to try to jump aboard with us. Craig Carton's going to join us from WFAN in hour number 2 at 1:30 Eastern time. Philly 500 is going to step in with us, and a boatload of other people are going to come aboard with us here today, as you will, and we appreciate you coming in. Giants suck? I don't know about the Giants suck. I think Brian Dable has done a hell of a job. I really do. I think he's your slam dunk NFL Coach of the Year. Nobody on the planet thought that Brian Dable was going to go into New York and turn that culture around the way he's turned it around. I think Brian Dable's got that program going in the right direction. I just think he's got the wrong signal caller. I think he's got the wrong dude, man, and Daniel Jones. I think they got to make an upgrade. Could it be Garoppolo? Could it be Derek Carr? Those two guys are going to be on the open market come this offseason. Who would have thought? Get this. The Eagles are the team not looking for a quarterback. Are we sold on that yet? We'll get into that as well. Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys stepping up against New York. Do you concern yourself now with the Cowboys? Not so much that you're going to lose the NFC East if you're the Eagles. Are you now worried about having to face them potentially in the playoffs? Especially if they sign Odell Beckham. Hey, Saquon Barkley's a good football player. And you know what? I'll tell you what. I thought Dallas did a nice job on him. Dallas still, their biggest issue, in my opinion, is still stopping the run. Micah Parsons, that was a hell of a football game. That was a hell of a football game. I'm going to start reading all you guys here. And guys, thank you so much. By the way, man, we're going 12 to 6 Eastern time. So we're going to sit here all day long and have some fun. There is so much. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I got like 17 pieces of information here that we're going to all hit on here. I think Dallas could be difficult too, Maniac. I do. I think they could be very difficult too. So, again, thank you guys so much for coming aboard here on this day when the day after Thanksgiving, I'll tell you what, man, everyone's always kind of tough to get up, right? Especially if you had a big meal. I'm a leg guy. Holy cow, was that a great meal yesterday. I may be getting some grub, by the way, during the show. Because I have to recharge myself here. I'll get to let me start reading here a little bit here. Then I'm going to get into the topics here. Man, sir, Big Silz, keep up the great work. Thank you so much, man. First half sucked, though. Hey, how about that? How about that Buffalo Bills? And I'm gonna, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have a debate with you, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. And I'm going to make a comparison to you. And you guys just might be right. Philiopolis, same shit, different year with the Cowboys. No one is scared of them. I can't dispute what Philiopolis just said. Is A.J. Brown better than Lamb? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sorry. A.J. Brown's a better wide receiver than CeeDee Lamb. Yes. Paul, thank you for coming aboard, brother. William, thank you. Silz getting paid for time and a half today, Manster. Thank you. Josh Allen is reckless. You know what? Let's start there. You know what, guys? I have fought you and 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 fought you one more time and fought you with Josh Allen. Jalen Hurts is never going to make the spectacular plays that Josh Allen makes. He's never. But do you know what Jalen Hurts is going to do that Josh Allen does all the time? Or I should say, you know what Jalen's never going to do? He is never going to be a turnover machine. Josh Allen is such a great football player. He's got a better arm. He's a bigger dude. He's more physical. He's too reckless. Those interceptions and turnovers, do you know how many times I said in that game, Philiopolis, Maniac, all of you guys, do you know how many times I thought of every one of you when I went, this guy turns the fucking ball over too much. This has got to stop. He's going to cost them a chance at winning a Super Bowl if he continues this recklessness. Jalen's never going to do that. Which means what? Jalen's never going to put his team in a position to fail. How many times in that Lions game did you go like this? Jesus Christ, this guy's a great ball player. And then you watched him throw a pick, and you were like this. Man, you can't make that play in the red zone. They must have the worst red zone passing offense in the league. How can that be with a guy that gifted? You guys may be right. I must have said this. I must have said this. Jalen's never going to make the plays this guy makes. Good and bad. Good and bad. You know what? I'm still taking Allen. But man, I'm here. Let me make this comparison. Who would you take to run your football? Emmitt Smith or Barry Sanders? Who would you guys take as your running back? Who would you take? If you had to have a running back and you had to have a guy win ball games for you, would you take Emmitt or would you take Barry? Which one of those players would you take? Emmitt or Barry Sanders? Toad said something I'm going to save that because I want to see what D said. The folks say here, Barry. JM says, depends on the O-line. Look at William. Depends on the O-line. If everything is equal, guys. If everything is equal, who do you take? Barry or Emmitt? Let me tell you what Coach Johnson told me about those two players. And this kind of goes down the line of Jalen Hurts versus Josh Allen. Josh Allen's going to make the spectacular plays. He is going to make unbelievable throws, 80 yards on a dime. You're not going to believe it. But he's going to have a lot of minus plays. Like Barry. I was kind of giving you this the other day on Barry Sanders. Barry's going to go like this. -5, -2, 7 yards, -1, 73-yard touchdown run. -2, -10, 62-yard TD run. And here's Emmitt, 8, 9, 6, 2, 10, 5, never minus yards. And when you look up, he's got 28 carries for 155 yards. And you're like, where'd that come from? Because Sanders was going to make the spectacular play, but it never resulted in winning. Emmitt believed in no minus yardage. That's why he's the all-time leading rusher. Who was more spectacular? Well, Barry. Who won more? Emmett. Better coaching? Obviously, I get all that. That's kind of what you have with Jalen. Jalen is going to win more games, I think, than Josh Allen. I hold on. It's so hard for me to say that. I think he's going to win more games. You can, unless he hones that in. Now, is it Brian Dable not being there? Is that still a problem? I probably think it is. Ken Dorsey and him are trying to figure out the second half. I thought the Lions played well too, James. Okay, I really did. Emmett had an outstanding O-line, though. Hey, you know what, though, Ruiz? That O-line was there when Coach Landry was there. Nate was there. Tune was there. Gogan was there. Those guys were all under Coach Landry, too. The guys that they added in were Stepnoski. Crawford Kerr was there, too, early on. Then they started adding some more O-linemen, but the majority of those guys were there with Coach Landry. I was there for that. So when you guys are saying this to Silz, are you okay with the Josh Allen turnovers? No, I'm not okay with the Josh Allen turnovers. Okay? I'm not okay with the turnovers. So I feel what you guys are saying here when you're talking about a guy and you're talking about he's not going to turn the ball over. In turn, he's Tom Brady. Here, I really did a lot of thinking on him yesterday. I'm talking Jalen. He just won't turn the ball over. He's not going to. Christian, you see my point? It's that I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not saying to you that Jalen doesn't make really fine ball plays. He does, but he's not going to make the spectacular plays. Say that that Josh Allen is, but he's not going to make the horrific turnover play like Josh Allen does. He was so good 90% of the game. The other 10, you're like, freaking maniac with those turnovers. Barry was the only weapon. Okay. Josh Allen has 19 turnovers. That is way over the top. Way over the top. Cowboys had Irvin, Harper, Johnston, Novacek. Lions had Barry. They knew exactly what the Lions could do. Yeah, that's a fact. Alvin Harper plus Michael Irvin. But I think you get my point. Dak has 8 TDs and 6 picks in 6 games. He is Josh Allen. I mean, look, I see how people in Philly go, I'll take Jalen. I'll take Jalen. I'll take Jalen because Jalen is not going to put the team in harm's way. Whereas Allen believes he could throw himself out of trouble the same way the guy in Kansas City can. Joe, Josh Allen is a red zone turnover machine. He's got to rectify that or the Bills are not going to go far in the postseason. You can't keep turning the ball over like that. That was my takeaway from the Bills and the Lions game. Was that Allen, that was a really great effort by the Lions, and I give the Lions all that, and kudos for playing hard and all that on Turkey Day. Probably one of the best efforts the Lions have had on Turkey Day in a long time. End of the day, though, Josh Allen, my takeaway was, dude, can't have those turnovers. And everybody in Philly, when they say I'll take Jalen, it's not so much that you're saying that Josh is a better or Jalen's a better talent than Allen. He just protects the ball better. Philiopolis, Brett Favre, Josh Allen. That's a great comparison. That's a great comparison. Josh Allen's the modern day Brett Favre. I agree. I agree with that. If you had to compare Josh Allen's approach to the game, it would be Brett Favre, wouldn't it? Man, it's appreciated. Thank you. That's a great take.